Hey guys, we're coming to you live from the Burdick household. We were talking for the last couple of days about putting together kind of an open breakdown thing and figured that the best way to do it was to take three amazing athletes and kind of give you their take on the open workouts, because who the hell wants to hear it from me? So what do we have? We have a 20-minute AMRAP, 25-foot overhead walking lunge, 8 bar facing burpees, 25-foot overhead walking lunge, and 8 chest-to-bars.
And then 25-foot overhead walking lunge. That didn't make it onto there.
And then a 25-foot overhead walking lunge.
Oh, that's one round with the
Right.
lunge at the end. Oh,
Yeah, it completes it.
That is why we keep Katie around. She actually pays attention to what she's talking about, which is very important. So what do you guys think?
I kind of like it. I don't usually say that about open workouts, and I won't say it after I do it tomorrow, but I kind of like it. It's manageable reps.
low stress.
Yeah.
You just have to grind it out.
What sucks? It's not round one that sucks. It's the fact that it's 20 minutes long. So, I think the cool thing is that a lot of people, thinking of some of the clients that I work with, they're pumped because they have their chest to bars, but they might not have 15 for 3 rounds in under 3 minutes, like some of those time cap things. They're like, cool, I can chip away at 8, and I know I'm not going to be stuck on round 1. I'm going to get in a good amount of work. So
It's not overwhelming sets.
Yeah.
Everything is very manageable.
Yeah, I think the first thing I was like, yes, the burpees are only 8 at a
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I hate when it's like you're just staring at the floor for 6 minutes of burpees or whatever it is to get on to the next thing. So that keeps me positive.
I think the important part is going to be being smart about your sets of 8 chest bar pulls, which is going to be this only high skill thing here. So for people who don't have a lot, it's going to be like, how do you break those up while still moving fast? Or do you go unbroken and then take like a freaking 30-second break to get back to a bar, which is obviously not what you want to do.
Yeah.
So you have to be really smart and honest with yourself. Chest to bar are my thing, but I'm like, 8, do I really want to gas myself and then have to get on it? Or is it better to drop after 4 and then go right back up? So
And that might save your hands too.
And that might save your hands, yeah.
The difference between 4 and 8 every time
Right.
would be enough to have fresh hands for 20 minutes and then fresh hands for the rest of the open.
Yeah, I think structurally too, if your overhead walking lunge sucks, it's going to be really taxing for your chest to bars, as well as pushing up off the ground for the burpees, which you don't really see that much because Chad and Emily are so good
Yeah.
at CrossFit.
But you're constantly doing something with your arms in this workout. You're pulling, you're pushing, your core is engaged for your butterfly or your kip, your overhead lunge, you're holding weight over your head.
Yeah. They did make the overhead position look effortless. So people are going to be like, okay, so that's a non-issue. And then I'm going to be like, oh my
And
God.
I
Arms are
think,
going to be shaking everywhere.
I think for anybody with that internally rotated shoulder, this is going to be rough on your overhead. If you're one of those people who can't lock the arms out or like this, trying to hold that weight over your head, you're putting some more pressure. If you can't externally rotate and lock your elbow. So I think warm-up is going to be huge for people with really tight shoulders. You've got to open up and get them ready for that. If not, you're going to suffer. That bar is going to want to be in front and you're going to want to dump it.
Yeah, I'd say even if you can't hold a bumper plate, like the width of a bumper plate with locked out arms and do a few lunges without it slowly crushing your life. 15-pound bumper plate, 25-pound bumper plate. That should be a red flag that you need a little more mobility before you start this workout. Yeah. That's always a good test for me, is that if I can get, like Jackie said, that rotation and press up, and I'm able to get my chest through, then I'm solid. I can hold that.
Like the overhead squat, that weight has to stay stacked on your back heel if you're standing straight. If not, it's just going to tax your core even more, having to try to balance that bar. So that's going to be, I didn't even think about that. That's going to be rough. And then going into tricep burpees right after holding
All
it. That's going
pressing.
to be,
Your legs aren't going to be doing the work after the
If
lunges.
you're not like
your
flopping to
arms.
the ground, you're doing like a slow eccentric, then you're just taxing the triceps and the shoulders even more.
Every press out,
it
it adds up over 20 minutes.
What do you guys think of I feel like this is always the thing that afflicts me, and like most people in the gym are always like, oh, that wasn't even an issue for me. But what do you guys think of like the wind factor? Because they looked fine, but I tend to get pretty cardio-y when it comes to chest to bar and burpees. So the lunge, I'm like, okay, that's a chance to recover my breath. You saw how fast they were moving, not very fast is what I mean, and so that could be a good chance, but honestly, holding weight overhead isn't the easiest chance to recover.
Same thing we were just talking about too. If you don't have a good overhead position, you're really struggling to hold that.
What do you guys think? Do you think, when is that going to creep in? Like, when am I going to stop breathing is what I want to know.
They looked really winded at the end. I feel like it taxed them a lot more than I thought that it would, because their movements where you feel like you could breathe easily during overhead lunges, burpees, you step, you jump, you can get good methodical breathing.
Right.
But I think the chest to bar is what brought the heart rate up, and
Yep.
you had to
That
bring it back down.
always
from
gets
there.
me out of wind.
Yeah. As you walk
I'm not
to your
saying the grip
barbell
is
to
easy.
back it up.
I'm not saying the mechanics are easy,
Yeah.
but everyone will be like, oh, it was the grip, and I'm like, really? Because
Yeah.
those are just hard, like
Yeah,
from head to
chest
toe.
bar gets my breathing.
Yeah.
I'm always winded, whether it's a set of 5 or it's a set of 50.
Totally.
Like I'm breathing the same.
I just feel like that's the one that's hard to regulate your breathing on a chest to bar. It's easier when you step lunge. It's easier when you burpee. You could time your breathing to your movement, but chest to bars are so fast. You can't.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like you said, if you're going for 8 in a row.
Yeah.
You just cut out a rest break.
Yeah.
to
The
breathe.
easiest way to get your breath on the chest to bars is going to be make sure your face is relaxed. A lot of times when you're tired and you're holding onto that bar, your face tightens up and you can't breathe if your face is tight. And it's
Good
really
point.
simple concept, but every time I relax my face, my grip relaxes and I can breathe.
That's
Yeah.
a really good
And that's
point.
like that was a game changer for me last year.
Yeah.
When
Think
I
of your face.
realized how to relax my
Your
face.
face.
No pain face.
Maybe like go get
Even if you're-
Botox.
Right, just
Turn around,
like
one
numb it
minute.
maybe.
So I don't want to interrupt and call out Katie Hogan, but there is no additional 25-foot walking lunge to the
What?
end of a round.
Oh, really?
It's only 50 feet total.
Oh, no,
So
that's what I
that-
meant. But you only wrote it once, I thought.
Oh, come on, Katie.
I thought you only wrote
You
it
probably
once.
can't
Sorry.
see it in
I didn't
between
see it. Sorry.
all of
We're-
my-
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
it starts with
I didn't see it. All I meant was there's 2 of them. You're absolutely right. I only saw the one.
So it's 1 for me. We'll keep track during the weeks.
You're absolutely right. It's a down and a back. That's
So
it.
if anybody's going to comment, just
Sorry.
erase it right now because we've already clarified.
I also couldn't read that it said 20 minutes. I thought it said Zomis.
I changed that too.
I did
sort of.
too.
So
I was like,
this
that's
is just
a
some of the
2?
math equations we were using to figure out the workout and get
you know.
scientific and technical and
It's good to add science.
oh, absolutely, you need it. You got to have it.
So let's talk strategy, Katie. So you got 20 minutes, and then let's look at what the scores that they put up. They did. We were
Like
talking
the
about like
10s
about a
or-
minute and a half
Past 10s into the 11s.
to 2 minutes around. Now I'm gonna have Coach Kirian sitting there timing my rounds, being like he usually does.
Yeah.
The goal is to keep it under 2 minutes. Obviously, if you want
Right.
to put up 10 rounds, which I feel like is gonna be a good score.
Sounds like it, yeah.
You just can't get caught behind, and you can't go too fast in the beginning and then kind of fuck yourself at the end.
Yeah.
You can't make up a ton
Yeah,
of
there's
time
nowhere
at
to
the
make
end.
it
No
up.
making up
Kids
time.
See,
Yeah.
Emily like
We
sped
were-
up at the
we were
end,
waiting
but
for
you
it,
can
yeah.
only speed up so much when you're lunging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause, like how far did she get? Like a few lengths on the lunge.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
you
you
get.
can only lunge so fast.
So if each length is 1 rep,
Yep.
and if obviously every burpee and every chest to bar, I mean the most you're gonna get ahead of in that kind of scenario
Yeah.
is like 3 to 5 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, you can't count on that big sprint to the
Yeah.
finish
yeah,
at
no,
a
I
20
think you need
minute.
to stay consistent and like
This- yeah,
staring
I
at a
agree.
barbell for 30 seconds or looking up at a bar to chest the bars
Yeah.
is only going to
This
crush
is
people.
going to be a very time methodical workout.
Yep.
20 minutes is a lot of time, and you've got to be on pace for the score that you're trying to shoot for. Like that's just
Yeah.
going to have to be it. There's no like, don't just go through it and guess that you're doing all right. Like you actually need somebody being like, all right, you're 2 minutes in. You're this many.
Yeah.
If you want this, you got to go this
Totally.
much. So it's going to be. You can't blindly just put your head down and work on this
Yeah.
one. You actually need someone to kind of help you.
I agree. I think this having someone time your splits is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or like you've been using a clock
Yeah.
to gauge it, but just having that by just your burpees might not be enough. Like you
Yeah.
might need to have having a second person.
It's by
give you
round.
a-
It's gonna go by round because we know about
Yeah.
what you want to get.
Yeah, exactly.
per round.
So you're gonna need to know, but like you can't wait a whole round to find out. Oh, I was on a 3-minute pace.
No,
Like,
so
or
you
so,
definitely
yeah.
warm up with a full round of everything
Yeah.
and warm up with the pace that you want to use for your entire 20-minute workout.
How fast should I move on
Find
the
that out
burpees?
before. You don't want to tweak it while you're in the middle
Right.
of the
How
20-minute
fast
workout.
is my transition from
Yeah.
burpee to overhead squat or overhead lunge?
If
How
you're gonna
fast
chop
is
up every time,
Exactly.
or like time
Which-
all of that out, plan it all out.
They
and then
spend a
don't
lot
be
of
afraid.
time chalking before chest to bar, so if
Yeah.
you know you're gonna need that,
Yeah.
put the chalk right next to like the
Yeah.
ball bar. Grab
Yeah.
chalk back right like
Yeah.
I mean little things, because if you're gonna factor all that in, it starts to add up. and
Like,
the
let's
round
be
gets longer.
honest, chalk is usually a breather. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
chalk because I need chalk. I chalk because I need a breath. I
Yeah.
need an excuse to get a breath. So, have your chalk right next to where you're about to jump up and pull up. So you do get the chalk and you do get that breath. You felt like you got a break, and then you can get back on it. But don't walk away, go get it, and then come back. That's just killing your
No,
time.
yeah, you're done. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I think having someone to time the rounds will be huge.
Yeah,
I think I'm
yeah.
going to do the same thing, because I tend to, with something like a burpee, I tend to go slower because it's a movement I don't like,
Yeah.
and I feel the discomfort right away. And so I'm like, oh, I better stay nice and easy here, and then I'm out of time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have someone being like, no, that's
For the
too
burpees,
slow.
you know, as bad as they're gonna feel in the beginning, they just stay bad. Like
Well,
they're
yeah.
not going to get worse. You're not gonna fail a burpee.
But I think those burpees are something you can really practice and be like, you count it 1, 2, 3, jump, 1, 2, 3, jump.
Yeah,
and
and
if
keeping
you
that
could
same
stay
consistent
on your
pace throughout all the
tempo,
time.
it's not a fast tempo.
Right.
So if you could just stay on that tempo, you can actually keep those the same amount of time, you know, because you don't have to, you walk up to the bar, you do a little bunny hop, and then you
Yeah.
turn around. It's not like, it would have sucked if it was a regular burpee, because there's no excuse to go
Right.
slow,
Right.
because it's just a burpee.
Yeah.
So we kind of got lucky on that.
I think so too. No, the bar facing, I will,
Yeah.
even though it's a little more distance total traveled, I'll take that over a Target burpee any day.
So are you going long step on the lunge or short step on the lunge?
Long
I feel like
steps. Talk about long
long step
legs.
is more glute, short step is more quad, and like
Long set.
shorts kill me, but I like long usually I'm like, oh, I
Long
can't.
set.
So long.
I feel more balanced. If I have a shorter set, a shorter step, I feel
Yeah.
too like.
I think in the beginning
Scrubby.
you can kind of play with that, but at some point you're going to settle into a rhythm. and it's
Yeah,
just
I mean, it's
how it's going to
my
feel, and
natural
you're just gonna
stride. I
stick
guess
with
that's
that.
what I mean. It's my natural stride.
And if
but
you're like
I'm not
if you're
gonna
like
show
around to go and there's 60 seconds left, maybe you can kind of step it out a little bit.
Oh,
kind of like the girls try to
absolutely. You
do
saw
Yeah.
Emily was
Yeah.
crossing a line with every
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Yeah.
get that point.
Because I mean, it's gonna come down to that bars. I mean, it's burning your wrist.
Oh yeah.
Your
Oh my
shoulders
gosh,
are on
4 hours
fire.
just holding
Oh,
like
yeah.
that bar.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, and don't dump it. Put it on your back and then jerk it and
Yeah,
walk
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even
less
think about the
time.
fact that like you got longer legs than most
Oh yeah.
females, and
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Take advantage of
Femur
that long
length.
leg.
Finally, it's helpful. It's a disadvantage in everything but this.
and I don't want to overlook that. That's a great point. Like if
Yeah.
you're going to lose the jerk, or the
Don't.
jerk, excuse me, if you're going to lose the overhead position,
Yeah.
drop it on your
Back
back,
rack, yeah.
rest a little bit, don't
It's
drop
just
it on
gonna
the
take
ground.
you 20
and
seconds to pick that bar back up, and
then
that, like
just
in-
throwing in another movement and
Same thing I tell my classes all the time. Like you never take a mindless break. You always tell yourself 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. But you don't just wait till you feel better because you're never gonna
You're never
feel
gonna feel
better.
better than
You're
20
never-
minute
yeah.
AMRAP.
No, you have to be like the open is very. You have to be very smart about how you approach it. There's timing sets. There's so much. It's not just like you go and do the WOD. Like there's a lot on it. And this one we talked about it. Like, you can't do this again. You can do this again, but how much better are you going to get in a 20-minute workout? Where are you going to make up time?
Your legs are gonna be
In
so
a 20
sore
minute, you're
after
gonna
these
my
lunges.
ass is gonna be so sore from the lunges.
Yeah.
Your overhead's just gonna be so fatigued just from
Yep.
holding that bar. I
Hands
mean,
are gonna
you
be
would-
sore. From
You would have to
swinging
come
on the
at it
bar.
with a completely different game.
yeah, I think,
No.
I think unless you
Something-
really
like
messed
you made a
up your
mistake,
workout,
yeah.
like if you
Yeah.
went balls to the wall on burpees,
And you
just
were no
bouncing
repping
over
chest
the
to bar, and you were
Yeah.
no repping your lunge steps
Yeah.
and had to go backwards. Like,
I mean, if you
only
came out guns blazing and died, then
Yeah.
I'd say yeah,
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
do it.
You're right. That'd be the stupidest thing you could do. Is start,
So don't do
yeah,
it.
Like start
Don't be
Super
stupid.
Smart. Yeah, don't.
unless you
Jackie
want to
said
redo
do
it.
Yeah.
Unless you want to redo it.
Yeah,
in
but I
which
mean,
case-
what sucks is redoing it just screws up your whole training for the week.
Yeah.
So how
Exactly.
much is that worth it? The last workout's the one that maybe you're like, oh shit, I'm not gonna make it if I don't get a better score. Sure, I would redo a 20-minute workout if that was the case. But the first one, there's so much room to make up ground. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I think if you look at it too as like a whole body of work. I mean, over 20 minutes, what those girls do, like 80 burpees, 80 chest to bars, 500 feet of walking
Yeah.
lunges.
And
Like on paper, it looks easy, so
Yeah.
to speak, and that's
'Cause
what's
one round,
awesome
right? Or
about
right.
CrossFit in the Open is you're like, oh, that's not bad. And then you watch 2 people that came in top 10
yeah.
at the
Yeah.
games, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, 6th
you're
and
like-
8th. I
you're
think.
like,
There's
oh,
no
they're
standing around.
completely
They're
dying
always
right now.
working, like stepping towards the bar,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
walking and
Yeah.
shocking. Like there's no just standing looking at anything. It's
Yeah.
always moving.
Yeah, so I definitely take care of your hands, whatever you guys do to
Yeah.
do that. You definitely don't want a hand rip for holding onto the bar
Yeah.
gets bloody, chest to
Yeah,
bars.
just why not tape? I mean, it's not gonna affect anything.
It's not going to affect your burpees. It's
Yeah.
not going to affect your clean into your.
Yep.
Yeah, but I
overhead.
just think those girls made it. They made it look way too easy on the overhead hold. They made it look way too easy
Just
on the
waving at
overhead
some
hold.
fans
and
in the
I
background.
don't think
You guys
people
can't see
understand
those.
the majority of the time that bar's over your head on this workout and the
Yeah.
fatigue
Yeah.
of that feeling of just like, and if you don't have active shoulders, if you're just letting that bar crush
Yeah.
on you, you are screwed. And
Yeah.
so when it comes down to warm up, I feel it's more mobilizing than anything because it's a 20-minute workout. You don't
You're
need
going to
a
get
long
warm.
ass-
Yeah.
yeah, you don't need a really long warm up for a 20-minute workout, but you need a shit ton of mobility. And
You
just-
always say that about like the longer the workout, the shorter
Exactly.
the general warm up you'll need. Like Jackie's saying, the more specific stuff you
Yeah.
need. Make sure your range of motion on your pull-ups there. Make sure
Yeah.
you're over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was a shorter, if it was an 8-minute,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'd
Yeah.
probably warm up for 2 hours.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean too.
Most people don't need that.
When she says that too, an hour of that warm up's talking.
It's
and
mobile
foam
socializing,
rolling.
mobility socializing,
Mobilizing.
Mobilizing?
I don't know.
It's a thing.
It's important.
It's important. So yeah, this one's tough. This one's hard to strategize. This one's hard to give tips besides your
Yeah.
fucking mobility is going to be make or break and
Yeah.
and how you time your rest and how long it takes to get back to that bar. But it's going to be, I think in reps it should be a pretty close one because there's no one that's going to blow one out of the water. Like
Sam Briggs?
yeah, okay, maybe.
Running over overhead
She got-
lunges.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if
Yeah,
you
she
know
might,
about
she might.
Sam literally lunges her life away every single day. Like
Yeah.
barring an injury that she might be dealing with on a certain given week or day, like
Yeah.
this girl will lunge for like the first 40 minutes of her warm up and like
And she's so long.
Just
Like,
lunges
if there's
for
any
days.
advantage you can have, you can't go any faster on lunges, but you can be super tall and
Right.
long and make up more ground.
Yeah.
But you
That's her
can't
thing.
sprint the lunge.
Plus, we know that she's got wind and
Right.
burpees forever, so
Went for days.
I would see a big
Yeah, I think some
score
guys are
from her.
going to put up pretty good scores just
Oh,
based
yeah.
on stride, and I think 95 pounds for guys
Oh, yeah.
is
And
a
I
little
think
bit less
you can push it on
than
the burpees.
65 is.
Some people
Yeah, I was
are
gonna
gonna
say the
push on
only
burpees.
place that you can really make up time is those burpees. Like the
Yeah.
only like if you have a really fast pop up hop thing and not like a step jump
Yeah.
kind of thing, then it's definitely gonna get you a lot more
Yeah,
reps.
you just still got to be able to sustain that for 20
But
minutes.
if that's the
People that
problem,
don't fall off
Yeah.
are
you
gonna
get your heart rate up so much more that you got to keep that up.
Is it worth it?
yeah.
Not for me because
No way.
no, not for me.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for me either. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Cool.
Cool.
So we kind of asked if anybody had any Q&As, and
I couldn't find any. I was
we
trying
kind
to
of might have missed the boat by putting this up about 3 hours ago, but we'll do better next week. But we had one on Katie's that was from Kat Hodges Fitness, and she wanted to know if you could offer any advice to teenagers wishing to compete in the games one day. What would it be, and good luck to you all. Stay in school.
stay in school, definitely. I would say, this is most likely coming from a kid that's already doing CrossFit, in a CrossFit Kids program or Teens program at their gym. I think that's great. That's where you're going to get the foundation. So make sure you're doing the basics well. Make sure your air squat is something you work on weekly. Make sure you have coaches that are teaching you to build proper foundations in upper body strength, whether it be the strength for strict pull-ups and properly aligned position on something as simple as a push-up. You would be amazed at what we see walking into the gym from all sorts of different ages. And I work with high schoolers in different sports programs, and the ability to do a simple air squat or a simple push-up is just, really, really tough. So being able to set yourself up for success would be get those basics down, get the foundations all in.
Yeah, just don't skip any steps. Take your time. Never be too cool to modify or scale because injury will take you out more than anything else. You'd rather develop slower than constantly be injured because you're not going to make it to the games. And if you do, you're just going to break there. And then focus, of course, on sleep, nutrition. There's just so many things that you need to do to make it to the games. It's not just like be a really good athlete.
Right.
There's just so much more mental and physical that you have to do. So just take your time and do it right. Don't rush it.
I would say all of those things, technique is number one.
Yeah.
Like the weight's going to come when you get older. If you have that good foundation, you're going to be throwing up 200, 300, 400 pounds over your head. But if your foundation's bad, trying to relearn it when you're older, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like it is really hard to fight bad habits. So doing it
We've
right.
all had to do that in different ways, had to overcome bad habits. Some of us still, I know myself, I'm still having to untrain my mind from certain things I learned even as far back as high school. So, I agree.
And if that's really your goal, find specialists. Take real gymnastics classes. Take real Olympic lifting classes, powerlifting classes. Don't just CrossFit just to CrossFit. Like the game has changed. No longer can you just take CrossFit classes and make it to the games. You need specific coaches for specific things. Like I can't teach you gymnastics. I'm not a gymnast. You can go to her and she could teach you gymnastics and she'll build you from the inside out. I wouldn't know what the hell to do. So you have to be smart about who you let program for you and what they have you do.
Yeah.
Totally agree. We got one more from Tim's Gym. I want one length from each of you.
One length?
He wants
What
to
does that
know
mean?
recommended booty short length for most Metcon efficiency. Pick a length.
I like about like a half inch on inseam.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
That means like 1/2 inch before you reach crotch.
Gotcha.
Okay. I'm really into Nike Pros right now because they keep everything in, and I think Nike Pros are 2-inch or 3-inch.
Some of them are 2, some of them are 3.
I
Most
think-
of mine are 3.
I think it's the 3,
2.5.
and I hike them up a little bit, but there's no way for a cheek to slip out of the Nike Pros. Like Lululemon, like you're gonna be doing burpees and stuff. Don't be that girl with her ass hanging out. Well, it's coming from me. That's really weird.
Or guy.
She's learning.
No judgment.
She now knows what to wear.
Girl
Or guy, whatever.
So
Yeah, I mean,
anything,
this is Tim's gym, so he might be looking for
anything
booty shorts. I
that
don't
keeps
know.
it inside, because nothing is more uncomfortable than watching people exercise as they're like pulling stuff
that's
down,
true.
and you know they're really uncomfortable. So
That's a good call.
something you're comfortable with.
And then Girth Brooks, not gonna happen, dude.
We've been through this one.
I'm gonna talk to Matt about you.
Yeah. Oh man.
Anything else you guys want to add, or?
Good luck.
Good luck. Have
Good luck,
fun.
guys.
Tag us. Let us know how you did.
Yeah, and leave any
Yeah.
comments if you want to hear anything else, or if we missed anything, so we can make this better as the weeks progress.
Stay tuned for the next one.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
guys later.